Hello, everyone. It is I, Trini Jackson. We are back with another episode of Conversations Are My Thing. I'm super excited because I've delayed the last episode. So much has gone on in the last 2 weeks. I just cannot believe the overwhelm and frustration I've had to overcome. But I'm super excited. We're in a new location, new chair, new vibes, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I am doing here, why I'm going to be here for the next 2-3 months, and why I think maybe you should consider doing something similar if you have the opportunity to do so. So for those of you listening on the podcast, I am in a new location. I have a blue wall behind me. I'm sitting in a cute wire yellow chair with a pillow that's bright pink and has a camel on it. I'm in my mom's crib that is out in El Paso, Texas, which is literally the western tip of Texas. Like, very, very, very edge of Texas. You can look from a tall hill and see Juarez, Mexico, easily. You can go to Mexico on the weekends, and this is something that just kind of developed in the last few weeks. Honestly, it's a decision that kind of just made itself, and I was just following along to see how far we were going to get with it, and look, we made it. So to take you back about 2 weeks ago. Actually, let's go back to July 26th, because if you all remember, I keep talking about it, and I'm going to continue mentioning it, that on July 26th, I had my first really big, shroom trip. I don't care how you feel about shrooms, I'm not going to lie. I think the psychedelics are just amazing. It really opened my mind to a lot of things, and one of the thoughts that I had at that moment is that I wanted to focus more on isolating myself and protecting my own energy so I can work towards my own goals. What I did at this time was I started going to the gym at different times, so I wouldn't always be there when a bunch of people are there. I spent more time at home. I started just figuring out how I can align myself more with the kind of person that I want to be by being less influenced by the people around me. Energy is not created or destroyed, it is transferred. So the people you're hanging around are very important to how you're maintaining your energy. That is your environment. So I wanted to take little steps to accumulate a better environment. Not like I was hanging around a bunch of negative people. That really wasn't it. I have great friends, and I'm so blessed for the people that I have in my life, but it's really people that you don't know that are around you that may feel some type of way about you. I can't even get into it, but on July 26th, I was like, you know what, I need to start isolating myself. So I started going to the gym at different times. I started doing slightly different things, but it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago that I was like, you know what, I still feel like this isn't enough. I feel like we could take it to another level. I went to a little meeting with a couple of other people that I just met. One of my friends had invited me. It was other individuals, like a very similar mindset to me, and I was just so happy to be having such a forward conversation about finances, money, spiritualism, things like that are helping me, that are just like the things that I think about all the time. And I was like, dang, this was like a really good meeting. I went home, I said, oh, that was such a great little experience. I met new people. I had a great time. And I love being in a room where other people are making a lot more money than me. You should always be surrounding yourself with people that are making like 10 times your income, so you can be like, okay, I'm asking you questions on how I can get to where you are, and I believe that I can get there because you're already there. So I'm like, you know what? I feel like I could be doing more. I had a great time at this meeting. This was so great. This is so cool. These people are really, moving in the direction of their lives. I need to lock in. I need to focus more. I said, one thing that I told myself when I was tripping on shrooms is that, Trinity, I kept saying, Trinity, you're not great, but you can be. I'm, of course, my biggest supporter. I'm my number one supporter. But also, if I'm being 100% real with myself, I know that I'm not at my best, because if I was at my best, I would have accomplished the goals that I have in my head. So I told myself, you're not that great, but you can be. And you can be great once you do this, this, and this. And in the time of the month, basically in the month that I had that realization, I made some small changes. And then I was journaling one day, and I said, you're still not doing enough. I feel like you have to be able to put more on the line and be like, you know what, I want to be this person so bad that I'm willing to leave everything I'm used to. And that's really kind of like the point I was at about 2 weeks ago. I don't know what it was, but I was sitting in my apartment, and I've been making really good money just through content creation, which is a blessing. It is a blessing. Through content creation and doing a little bit of social media marketing on the side, in the last 3 months, I've made more money doing the things that I like to do than I ever had, and it's been very little effort. It feels like there are a lot of other jobs people do that are really stressful that make them less or about the same. So I was just feeling really grateful and blessed to even be in the position that I'm in. But another thing that I'm always afraid of is stagnancy. I'm just afraid of being stagnant. And I had been making good money for 3 months, and I was kind of chilling. I was like, oh, I already know this check's going to hit. I already know that I'm going to get paid this day. I got like 3 payments a month of this amount, this amount, this amount. So I'm going to pay my rent. I'm chilling. I can go out. I can do that. I felt like I was coasting. I could feel that I was coasting. I was getting comfortable in the fact that I knew I was going to make that kind of money. All I got to do is make a couple videos. Making videos is easy for me. I don't even got to, it's easy. I do this. And I do not want to be stagnant. Sometimes I know for a fact, the universe, God, Satan, I don't know, whatever you believe in, the person that is trying to oppose you, the spirit out there, the spirit that does not want to see you do well, whatever you believe that to be, it will give you less than what you want, but that's something that's still good. Something that's still good. It's less than what you want. You wanted to make $100,000 a year. It gave you 50, which is still an increase. So you're like, oh, I'm going to take this and I'm going to run with it. Right? And it'll give you less than what you deserve, because if you reach your full potential and become the person you could be, then you can impact a lot of other lives. And I knew in my mind that I was getting really comfortable making the kind of money I was making, doing content creation, because I already like content creation. I was doing it for free for so long that's like, wow, now getting these type of checks, it's like, wow, I can get used to this. And as soon as I said, oh, I can get used to this, it's like, oh, is this all you ever wanted? Is this all you wanted, was to make this little amount? Like, this is what you're satisfied with? This is what's cool. You're cool at staying right here in this little box of earnings. And that's where the stagnancy and the comfortability starts to come in, where you stop reaching for more because you got a little taste of it. And now you're, oh, this is good enough. This is good enough. And there could be multiple reasons I believe that happens. One of them could be that you no longer believe you're capable of achieving the big thing you set. So you just take a little something so you can at least say you achieved something. Or just because you get so excited with the little bit that you forget that there's more on the way. You get so excited with $10,000 that you forget that there's $100,000 available to you, because you already proved that you can do this. So I knew that I was being comfortable. I knew I was getting stagnant. I knew that I was getting used to it. I was like, oh, I already know when the money coming. I'm excited. I'm chilling. I'm living my best life. I'm 23. I'm lit. And I had that realization. I'm like, oh, you're getting comfortable. And when people get comfortable, you start to settle for mediocrity. And the way I'm living isn't even mediocre, but it's not what I want. The vision I have of the lifestyle I want to live, what I do right now is mediocre. It's nothing to talk about. It's nothing to brag about, for sure. So the vision of my life is much bigger than the life that I'm living right now. So for me to accept what I do right now and the money I make right now would be accepting mediocrity. And I said, I just don't want to do that. And I was talking to myself, and I was journaling to myself. And I basically came to a realization, and I told Trinity, I told past Trinity and future Trinity, we had a talk. I like to talk to myself in the mirror. I feel like it's a very effective way to communicate with yourself, because you get to make eye contact, and eye contact is very powerful. So I'm making eye contact with myself in the bathroom mirror of my very nice luxury apartment in Houston, an apartment that I love, that I was also comfortable in, with my 2 pretty dogs I loved, that I was also comfortable with, and with the income I had that I was pretty comfortable with, and the videos I was making that I was pretty comfortable with. And I said, Trinity, you're getting comfortable. I said, Trinity, you're getting comfortable. And if you get comfortable too soon, then you're going to accept too little, and you're never going to get to where we know we want to get. And we know that this is not what we want. And I got to the point really where I knew that I was willing to sacrifice everything I've done thus far, everything I've worked for thus far, everything I was used to, everything I was comfortable with, to get to the next level I want to get to. I was like, I'm willing to sacrifice all of this, though. I said, I'm willing to sacrifice it all. So I started figuring out, how can I get out of this apartment, for one, because I'm too comfortable in this apartment. That was the first thing. I said, it's nice, it's cute, it's close to everything. I'm just way too comfortable in this apartment. How can I get out of this apartment? And the best thing about a decision that you know you need to make is, if it's supposed to be done, things are going to fall in line quicker. Like, you're going to have to move quickly, because as soon as you make the decision that you think this is what you're supposed to do, other things are going to start to fall in line to confirm it. And that is exactly what happened, because I'm telling you, 2 weeks ago, I was living nice, cozy, feet kicked up in my luxury apartment in Houston, Texas. And now I'm in a quaint little cute house in El Paso, Mexico. And I'm really El Paso, Texas. And I want to tell you how we got here and what I plan to happen after here. So I was like, I'm willing to sacrifice it all. I'm willing to get rid of all of this. I know I'm comfortable here. I know this is great. I know I'm really proud of being able to have finished my first lease, but I need to get up and get out of here. So let me figure out how I can get out of here, how I can get up, because I still have about 2 months in my lease. At first I had to figure that out. I was like, okay, so when is my lease up? I didn't even remember what kind of lease I signed, because I was so excited to even get a lease. I was like, I don't even remember what kind of lease we signed. Let's look at our lease. So, my lease isn't up till December, but I don't have until December. Like, I need to get out before this month, and I need to figure out how to get out of this apartment because I'm too comfortable here. And I feel like the person I want to be is telling me that you need to get away from what you're comfortable with to be uncomfortable, because when you're uncomfortable, that's whenever you're forced to grow. So, I'm like, all right, we got to get out of here. I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, I've always thought about I want to Airbnb my place out because my apartment allows Airbnb. It's really nice, and the place is really nice. I said, you know what, I'm going to turn this into an Airbnb. Fine, cool. So if I'm going to turn it into an Airbnb, I have to remove all my personal belongings and I have to furnish this whole place. Well, how am I going to furnish this whole place? I got to get I got to get some money together. I got to buy this. I got to get new this, and then I can furnish the whole place, and then it's going to start me in a hole. And if I start in a hole, then I'm going to have to make a lot of money to even get out of the hole. I don't know if that's really going to work. So I have all these thoughts going through my head about how I can get out of the apartment, how I can actually start making money from the apartment. Because mind you, in the last 3 months, I've been watching a lot of financial podcasts, and what I've learned from the financial podcasts is that if you start making better financial decisions at a young age and don't let your income don't let your lifestyle exceed your income, then you can live a very happy, healthy, financially free life at a very young age, maybe like 30 something, but it just takes the right decisions early. So I'm like, I'm 23 years old. I do love this apartment, but it definitely costs a lot. I could be saving money. I could start a retirement fund. I was starting to do different things with my money. So I was like, you know what? Instead of just breaking my lease early or doing anything stupid or reckless, I'm going to turn this into something that can make me more money. So not only do I not want to pay my rent, I want to make money off this unit. So I'm looking into Airbnb, and I'm like, dang, I would have to use like a check or two to furnish this whole thing in a way that would make it look good to be Airbnb worthy. So I was looking on Facebook Marketplace trying to figure out where I can get the things to do this. I'm like, okay, how can I go get the furniture? Da-da-da-da. And this is why I say things are going to, whenever there's a decision that you are on, like whenever you're on the right track and the decision that you're making is the right decision, things are going to fall in line. So I'm about to go pick up. On this same day, I go on Facebook Marketplace. I find a woman who has a really nice sectional set. I'm like, well, that's a really nice sectional. I'm gonna see when I can go pick it up. I'm texting her to see when I can come get it. She said like 4 p.m. I text the mover that I work with. I'm like, hey, could you come help me pick this up so we can move it at 4 p.m.? He's like, yeah. Well, he hadn't replied yet. So between that time, I go do yoga with my friend Asia. And shout out to Asia for the thing that she told me. So we're doing yoga, and I'm telling her about the frustration I'm having trying to figure out how I'm going to furnish my Airbnb. She's done Airbnb before, and then she also knows other people that do it currently. So I'm like, telling Asia, like, bro, I'm so frustrated. I'm trying to figure out how I can furnish this apartment. I got to go pick up this sectional. Now the sectional is like $250. Not unreasonable. Then you got to pay the mover like $100 to move it, and then you got to find others. So that's like $300-$400 already. It wouldn't have been $100 flat. So the mover, you have to pay the mover. You got to pay to get the things, and that's only one item. And then that house would need a bunch of other things, like new TVs. You got to mount the TVs, a whole bunch of stuff. I'm talking to Asia, and she's like, I actually just heard about this company where you can lease furniture from them on a monthly basis, like an apartment lease, and they'll send interior decorators to come furnish your entire unit, and it'll only be like $200-$300 a month. I was like, huh? She's like, yeah, I just heard about it the other day. So-and-so told me about it. You should look into it. Not only did I look into it, I was like, yep, seems legit, paid for it the same day. It was $218 to do the application fee. They checked my credit. They said, bet, you're good to go. And I went through the onboarding process. That all happened in one day. I was about to spend $250 on a couch, not even just to move it to where I need to be. And then I learned about a program that basically furnishes your whole apartment for you. And I'm telling you, things are going to fall in line. I'm talking to my mom about how excited that, I think it's like a day or two after that. I'm talking to my mom about how excited I am that I found a place. I found someone to furnish the whole thing. Now all I have to worry about is getting my furniture out of the apartment. So I start the process of moving my furniture out of the apartment. I'm packing my clothes, things like that. Mind you, packing up an apartment will never do again. 0 out of 10 experience. Super draining, super frustrating. Hated it. I literally would not have finished if it were not for my cousin and my sister helping me. Oh my gosh. 1 second. Woo! Okay. I wouldn't have finished if it weren't for my sister and my cousin helping me out. So as I'm talking to my mom about how excited I am that I found the company and that they approved me and that I have my move-in date set, which was on September 19th, which is basically like 2 weeks. I applied and they said, okay, in 2 weeks we're gonna come move your furniture in, make sure the apartment is completely empty. It needs to look like a brand new unit. I'm talking to my mom on the phone, so how excited I am. Me and my mom are really close. We talk all the time. We hang out all the time. We have a lot of similar interests, and my mom basically has a job that moves her around a lot. Okay, my mom has a job that moves her around a lot, and she's been blessed to make a very good income doing what she does. Talking to my mom, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to move all my things out of my apartment. And she's like, oh, well, where are you going to go while you're Airbnb-ing it? I said, well, I haven't even thought that far ahead yet. I really don't know. But I'm just taking it one step at a time. And she's like, oh, well, you know what? You could go stay at my house in El Paso, which is literally where I'm at right now. Mind you, this is I had never ever been to this house. I had heard about it, but she's had it for about a year, and I never knew about it. She got it because like land is really cheap out here in El Paso, and she had done work out here when her job had moved her out here. I had visited her when her job moved her out here, and El Paso is actually really beautiful. It's actually a really safe city. Great hiking trails, like a whole different vibe of Texas, and it's like a really quaint little city, super close to Mexico as well. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot you had that house out there because I've never been. She's like, yeah, how about you move all your things and then you can drive out there with your dogs and you can stay at my house in El Paso and you can stay there as long as you like. I was like, wow, another thing aligning with a decision that I need to make. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that. We have a storage unit, so I start the process of course, like moving my things out, packing my car up, whatever the case may be. Now, obviously, it's not realistic. Not everyone has a mother who just so happens to have a house that she literally does not actively live in, and only, it really is like a blessing. But it was a great confirmation to me because El Paso is 10 hours away from Houston, Texas. Isolation, separation, elevation. I knew that I needed to isolate myself more because I know I have a great energy. I'm really positive. And whenever I can be myself and focus on me, great things are always going to happen. Separation, I'm 10 hours away from anyone I know, anything I'm used to, anything I'm familiar with. Elevation is going to be everything that happens going forward. My mom and I drove out here literally yesterday, 10 hours in the car. We watched documentaries the whole way. She dropped me off. She stayed here one night. I'm about to move my things in tomorrow. But everything, this all happened in the span of 2 weeks of like me figuring out where I can go, figuring out how to Airbnb my place. I put my place on Airbnb. The day it was posted, I got a booking. Then I got another booking. Then I got another booking. So that's 3 bookings. I'm already seeing the numbers of how it's gonna, like how much it can make. I'm like, oh yeah, I can definitely do this. I definitely want to do this. Like, this is just showing me that I'm on. Goodness. My throat, I think it's because hold up. For everyone listening, I apologize. My throat just feels super dry. Anyways, everything aligned for the decision to just make sense. It seemed like it was just getting easier and easier to do so. And then I had a great trip down here. I had my dogs on some anti-anxiety medication, so they were really sleeping a majority of the way because it was a 10-hour trip. I already had some packages delivered here. I ordered them new cages, and I still have, now it's not only like, okay, I'm not having to pay rent because I'm out here, I'm able to stack some more bread, and and it's isolation. Like, I don't know anybody. All I have to do is hang out with me. Honestly, no, not hang out, like, all I have to do on a daily basis is worry about me and my dogs. It's me and my dogs. I'm focusing more on my yoga, my cardio, because I haven't been going to the gym lately. I've still been eating pretty well because I do factor, but there's really like one major goal I've had in my mind for the last 2 months. I've had one major goal in my mind, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to leave El Paso until I accomplish this goal. That is going to prove to me that I have elevated. As I said, I didn't want to get comfortable at the level that I was at the income I was at, and the lifestyle I had. I wanted to elevate. My lease was coming up to an end Mind you, I am going to extend my lease, obviously, so I can continue to do Airbnb. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to live in my apartment. I love it, but I'm more grateful for it. It never got a lot of sunlight. There were little things I didn't like about it. I went to go tour a really nice townhome, like, at the beginning of the month. I took videos of it, I took pictures of it, and I said, this is what I want. I don't want to be in anything that's 700 square feet ever again. I want to have a first floor, second floor, third floor. This is what I want. And sometimes if you focus too much on what you can afford or what you can manage and what you can do and then that's when you start settling. If I just get another apartment that I can afford at that same price, then that same neighborhood, that same then that's stagnancy, in my opinion. I only want to do better. I only want to get bigger. I lived in an apartment. That was great. Cool. I want a luxury townhome. Instead of focusing on, and that's why I said I'm willing to sacrifice everything I've done thus far to be this next version of myself that I know is literally right there. And she's the one that's been talking to me and telling me, yo, you need to get out because you're not locked in. You're not focused. You're still too comfortable. So I really talked to the future version of me, and she's been pushing me and letting me know you're doing the right thing. This is correct. You're good. Keep going. Don't worry. You got it. All those little things. And even being here right now and seeing my little 2 dogs napping on the carpet, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly where I need to be. Isolation, separation, elevation. As I said, obviously there's like a blessing of an opportunity that my mom even has this house that just so happens to be on the other side of Texas. If that is not your reality, which I assume it isn't, it's not unrealistic. It's like, okay, duh, not everyone could do that. You need to, just focus on making the initial decision that you want to separate yourself, and just figure, as I said, wait for the other things to fall in line. Whenever you think about it a lot, you will find answers to the questions you're asking. That's simply how it happened. I kept thinking about it so much, trying to figure things out, that things figured themselves out for me. And I'm just really excited to be here for these next few weeks. I can't even put a time. Some people didn't even realize that I left. They don't realize how long I'm going to be gone. I really didn't make a big announcement or anything like that. I was just like, I need to do this for me. So I can't really worry about how anyone else feels about it or what anyone else thinks about it. I need to do this for me and me only. So I need to be selfish within this time. So, I don't know how long I'm going to be out here. I know I need to be out here for as long as it takes to accomplish my goal, to elevate my lifestyle, to reach the next level of success that I deem relevant, that I think is worthy and important. So I'm super excited to be out here. El Paso is beautiful. I'm ready to explore it and see what type of outdoorsy things they have, getting back into my fitness, but also simplifying a lot of things. I don't have a gym membership out here. I have my jump rope, my yoga mat. That's it. I have my jump rope and my yoga mat. I might buy 2 30-pound dumbbells so I can do some leg workouts, but I'm just really focused on making good decisions, healthy habits, simpler. I still get my factor meals delivered. I immediately change my delivery so they're going to come to this house. All I got to do is eat healthy, wake up early, take care of my dogs, and take care of myself. I'm excited for the elevation to occur as a result of me making this decision. So make sure you stay tuned and follow along for the journey. And I want to thank you all for watching or listening. If you're watching, go listen to the podcast. Link will be in the description. And if you're listening, go watch so you can see what the vibes are. And overall, I really appreciate each and every single one of you. So until next time, bye.